Here we all are. Hi.
Hi.
Hi, this is Kim, and this is
Andy.
And I'm also here with my cousins, Kelly and Kris.
Hi.
Hi. And we're all going to read to you from the Urantia book. First, we have 365 Days of Walking the Red Road by Terry Jean. So today is May 30th. So we have a quote from Chief Seattle, who is Duwamish Suquamish. Okay, would you like to read the quote from Chief Seattle, Kelly?
I'll let you.
Kris, you?
Go ahead.
All right, fine. Okay. His brave warriors will be with us, a bristling wall of strength. Okay. Andy, would you like to read about Chief Seattle a little bit?
Chief Seattle, born near Puget Sound in 1785, he was well known for his beliefs in peace, friendship, and love of the land. A strong advocate of his people, Chief Seattle is considered one of the most beloved Native leaders of all time.
Chief Seattle.
Chief Seattle.
Thank you. Thank Chief Seattle for living a good life. Next we have
Tao Te Ching by Lao Tzu, translation by
Derek Lynn.
Derek Lynn. Okay. This is kind of a joint reading back and forth. So you take that page, I'll take this page.
Okay, should we do that like normal? Well, I like these. You don't want to participate in this. Okay, all right. Okay. The Tao is constant in non-action, yet there's nothing it does not do.
The Tao is both eternally devoid of action and the ultimate cause of all actions. It makes no attempt to achieve, and yet nothing is beyond its powers to achieve. It doesn't try to do anything, it simply does everything. Therefore, the Tao is the eternal, unchanging principle of effortless achievement. Within its workings, there is no strife or struggle.
If the sovereign can hold on to this, all things shall transform themselves.
As it is in many other chapters, the sovereign here can be anything, from the leader of a nation to the master of oneself. When we are able to hold the Tao and embody its principle of effortless achievement, everything around us, environment, circumstance, friends, family, and relationships will naturally transform into alignment with our goals.
Mm-hmm. Transformed, yet wishing to achieve.
When people are transformed into alignment with a leader, they may wish to move ahead with actions that, if unchecked, can lead to chaos. Similarly, those who become allies in our cause may do more harm than good out of a strong desire to take action. Our own thoughts and emotions, once aligned with a personal goal, can also get us away from us out of sheer enthusiasm.
Right, our own emotions. Can get away from us.
Yeah.
Okay. I shall restrain them with the simplicity of the nameless. The simplicity of the nameless, they shall be without desire. Without desire, using stillness, the world shall steady itself.
In these situations, we can restore balance by applying Pu, the principle of plainness and simplicity.
Yep.
The fundamental nature of the nameless Tao is plain and simple. This total absence of contrivance and complexity lessens the urge to overreact and moderates desires.
Okay, beautiful. Do you guys have any comments on any of that? You guys?
Mm-hmm.
Good? Interesting?
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Yeah? Okay.
And now on to the Urantia book reading.
Well, no, because it's the
Oh,
full
the
moon,
full
or
moon.
it's the new moon. Actually, today is the new moon, so it's a day when we do a I Ching reading. Okay, what day is it?
May 30th.
Yep, new moon, right?
Mhm.
New moon, May 30th. Okay, so let's flip over to the I Ching. So this is a special day that you get to see this, you guys. We only do this once every couple of weeks. Okay. Do any of you guys have a question, something that you'd like to know about? Something that's interesting. It should not be a yes or no question. There's not yes or no answers. It should be an open-ended question. Otherwise, we could just meditate on tell us what will benefit us during this time, this season. During new moon phases, the growth of the moon, we think about what we should build into our lives over the next couple of weeks. What should we try to strive for that we don't already have? Money. Kelly says money. Okay, so talk to us about that. How do we go about improving our financial situation? Okay, so Kelly, since you advanced this concern, you just tap here, that bar 6 times. Oh, stop it. I don't know who that is. Okay, tap that 6 times. Wow, so he has pulled hexagram 57 and there are no changing lines. So this is hexagram 57. So no changing lines today. Isn't that interesting? So we're gonna go to see what the reading is. The sun, penetrating wind. So this is, I think, wind, I think. Trigram symbols, or upper trigram is sun or wind. Right. Sometimes I look at Okay. So there are, this one is wind, sun or wind, sun, wind. Okay, so we have, this is what it looks like here. And a broken. So the yang energy represents the unbroken lines, and the yin energy is represented by the broken lines. Okay, so here we've got, this is our trigram, and there are no changing lines. So we want to show you what it looks like. Okay, so it's the sun on top of the sun, and it's interesting, wind on top of the wind over the wind. And number 57 is called the penetrating wind. Right? Okay, Kelly, you want to read that?
Wind follows upon wind, watering the earth, penetrating gently but persistently. The superior person expands his influence by reaffirming his decisions and carrying out his promises. Small, persistent, focused effort brings success. Seek advice from someone you respect.
Okay. So that's how you should make the money. Seek advice from someone you respect.
Sure.
Get it? What I'm doing?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right.
Small, persistent, focused effort.
Yes. Do you want to read the last part of this, Christine? Situation analysis.
Gentle persuasion is the key in this instance. Though the words are soft, Their speaker must be firm, calm, and confident. Gentle words are worthless if spoken with trepidation. Wordless influence by example is also effective in this situation. All persuasion should be almost unfelt, yet consistent and persistent. Ask for feedback from someone you know to be an effective persuader.
Okay. Can you apply that to your situation at all?
Sure.
Okay. Do you have any more thoughts about that?
No.
Okay. Am I putting you on the spot?
No.
Okay. All right. So if we build this speaking gently and persuading, small, persistent, focused effort. If we build this gentleness into our lives, but at the same time, we are able to stand firmly behind our words, there will be success. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So calm, gentle persistence is what we're about here now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So that should bring success in the coming weeks. Okay. So, all right, and there's no transformed hex because there's no changing lines. So that's a very resolute reading. Very good. Okay, and then we will read from the Urantia book. What I'd like to do on this one, I'd like Andy to read a paragraph, then I'll read a paragraph, and I'll send it around. Okay?
Okay.
If that's okay with everybody.
Sure.
Okay. Okay, so we are on paper 47, the 7 mansion worlds, and we're on section 3, the first mansion world.
On the mansion worlds, the resurrected mortal survivors resume their lives just where they left off when overtaken by death. When you go from Urantia to the first mansion world, you will notice considerable change. But if you had come from a more normal and progressive sphere of time, you would hardly notice the differences except for the fact that you were in possession of a different body. The tabernacle of flesh and blood has been left behind on the world of nativity.
Okay, so this is about death and what happens to us after we die.
When they say a more normal world, you see Urantia is
not a normal world.
very different from the other inhabited worlds in the universes because of what has happened here, along with the fact that it's a decimal planet. This is a tough road to hoe here on Urantia. And
So it's really no accident that
it's a huge change
life is hard
when we
here.
move on. Other worlds are not like ours, and for them to move on is not as jarring as ours. Anyway.
The very center of all activities on the first mansion world is the Resurrection Hall, the enormous temple of personality assembly. This gigantic structure consists of the central rendezvous of the seraphic destiny guardians, the thought adjusters, and the archangels of the resurrection. The life carriers also function with these celestial beings in the resurrection of the dead. They did a very cute skit for us on Saturday, how they had one person playing the newly died, the newly person that is new, and the angels and their translators and were all around them, trying to help them adjust to this new reality. So, okay. Kelly, would you mind reading right here? And then just to here, okay?
The mortal-minded transcripts in the active creature memory patterns is transformed from the material levels to the spiritual or individual possession of the detached thought
adjusters.
These spiritualized factors of mind, memory, and creature personalities are forever part of such adjusters. The creature mind matrix and the passive potentials of identity are present in the
Urantia
soul, entrusted to keeping of the seraphic destiny guardians, and it is the returning of the
Reuniting
reuniting of the Montreal soul,
of the Urantia soul.
trust of the Seraphim in the mind,
And the spirit.
spirit mind trust of the adjuster that reassembles creature personality and constitutes resurrection of the sleeping survivor.
Okay. Do you want to go?
The transitory personality of mortal origin should never be thus reassembled. The spirit elements of the non-surviving mortal creature would forever continue as an integral part of the individual experiential endowment of the one-time indwelling adjuster.
Okay. Okay, Andy.
Where? From the temple of new life, there extends 7 radial wings, the resurrection halls of the mortal races. Each of these structures is devoted to the assembly of one of the 7 races of time. There are 100,000 personal resurrection chambers in each of these 7 wings, terminating in the circular glass assembly halls, which serve as the awakening chambers for as many as 1 million individuals. These halls are surrounded by the personality assembly chambers of the blended races of the normal post-Adamic worlds. Regardless of the technique which may be employed on the individual worlds of time, in connection with special or dispensational resurrections, the real and conscious reassembly of actual and complete personality takes place in the resurrection halls of Mansonia, number 1. Throughout all eternity, you will recall the profound memory impressions of your first witnessing of these resurrection mornings.
Okay, so you're always going to remember the time when you woke up in that resurrection hall and everything was different, right?
Mm-hmm.
From the resurrection halls, you proceed to the Melchizedek sector, where you are assigned permanent residence. Then you enter upon 10 days of personal liberty. You are free to explore the immediate vicinity of your new home and to familiarize yourself with the program which lies immediately ahead. You also have time to gratify your desire to consult the registry and call upon your loved ones and other earth friends who may have preceded you to these worlds. At the end of your 10-day period of leisure, you begin the second step in the paradise journey, for the mansion worlds are actual training spheres, not merely detention planets. Okay? Right there.
What this is saying is that our concept of you die and 3 days later you're on a cloud playing a harp in heaven. No, it's way more involved, way more complicated than
that. Mm-hmm.
According to this book.
Mm-hmm.
On Mansion World number 1 for,
Or,
well, my eyes wander. Maybe
okay,
Christy
sweetie.
should read this.
oh, you.
You're okay.
Oh, I appreciate it. Please.
I'll let her. That'll work better.
On Mansion World number 1, or another in case of advanced status, you will resume your intellectual training and spiritual development at the exact level whereon they were interrupted by death. Between the time of planetary death or translation and resurrection on the Mansion World, mortal man gains absolutely nothing aside from experiencing the fact of survival. You begin over there right where you leave off down here.
Eight. Almost the entire experience of Mansion World number 1 pertains to deficiency ministry. Deficiency ministry.
Mm-hmm.
Survivors arriving on this first of the detention spheres present so many and such varied defects of creature character. And deficiencies of mortal experience that the major activities of the realm are occupied with the correction and cure of these manifold legacies of the life in the flesh, on the material evolutionary worlds of time and space.
The sojourn on Mansion World number 1 is designed to develop mortal survivors at least up to the status of the post-Adamic dispensation on the normal evolutionary worlds. Spiritually, of course, the Mansion World students are far in advance of such a state of mere human development.
If you are not to be detained on Mansion World number 1, at the end of 10 days, you will enter the translation sleep and proceed to world number 2. And every 10 days thereafter, you will thus advance until you arrive on the world of your assignment.
You take the next one, Kim.
Okay. The center of the 7 major circles of the first Mansion World administration is occupied by the temple of the Urantia companions, the personal guides assigned to ascending mortals. These companions are the offspring of the local universe Mother Spirit, and there are several million of them on the Urantia worlds of Satania. Aside from those assigned as group companions, you will have much to do with interpreters and translators, the building custodians, and the excursion supervisors. And all of these companions are most cooperative with those who have to do with developing your personality factors of mind and spirit within the Urantia body. Okay, bring us home, Andy.
As you start out on the first Mansion World, 1 Urantia companion is assigned to each company of 1,000 ascending mortals. But you will encounter large numbers as you progress through the 7 Mansion spheres. These beautiful and versatile beings are companionable associates and charming guides. They are free to accompany individuals or selected groups to any of the transition culture spheres, including their satellite worlds. They are the excursion guides and leisure associates of all ascending mortals. They often accompany survivor groups on periodic visits to Jerusalem. And on days you are there, you can go And on any day you are there, you can go to the registry section of the system capital and meet ascending mortals from all 7 of the Mansion worlds, since they freely journey back and forth between their residential abodes and the system headquarters.
Okay.
This sounds like science fiction.
Okay. Well, do you have any thoughts or any impressions you'd like to share?
I don't know.
No. Okay. Well,
Just questions.
okay, we'll talk about that after we sign off. Thank you for being with us.
Signing off from Austin, Texas.
Austin, Texas. Bye now, y'all.
Have a great day.